Imagine walking into a courtroom expecting sadness, maybe tears, maybe a final apology. But instead, you're met with a cold smirk. That's exactly what happened when Brooke Bailey, once known as the stylish star of reality TV and proud boss mom on Basketball Wives, stood in front of a judge facing life behind bars. There were no tears, no breakdowns, just a look that made it seem like she still believed she was in control. But this wasn't just another celebrity scandal. This wasn't just a dramatic fall. It was the complete destruction of a carefully crafted public image, an image built on glamour, fake emotions, and something much darker. It all started with the heartbreaking death of her daughter, Kayla Bailey. Kayla, just 25, died in a car crash. Her vehicle spun out on an icy road, and the crash took her life. At first, it seemed like a horrible accident. Brooke posted emotional messages, lit candles, and uploaded tearful videos on Instagram saying things like, "She was my heart." The internet felt her pain. Fans, influencers, and celebrities all expressed their sympathy. But then, like it always does, the internet started asking questions. First came the details about the car. Kayla had been driving a luxury SUV, but the vehicle had expired license tags. There was no insurance on file. Even stranger, the car wasn't registered to Kayla, it belonged to a sketchy company connected to Brooke's business records. Then someone zoomed in on one of Brooke's tribute posts. In the reflection of a window, you could see her wrist not shaking, not trembling, just calm, wearing her signature diamond bracelet and what looked like a smile. Yes, a smirk. That's when things started falling apart. A former assistant, let's call her Mia, came forward. At first, she remained anonymous. But she revealed that her real job wasn't handling schedules or booking events. It was scrubbing the internet, deleting messages, faking timestamps, and even writing grieving mother emails before Kayla had even passed away. She claimed Brooke once said, "If something goes wrong, I want clicks, not cries." That line sounds like something from a movie villain. But this wasn't a film. It was all happening in real life. Just 3 days after the crash, Brooke's team launched something called Sherrosa, a platform supposedly created to support grieving mothers. The website had donation buttons, touching stories, and even plans for events. But none of it was real. The money couldn't be traced. The events never happened. Even the testimonials were fake. Kayla's friends soon leaked private messages. In them, Brooke pressured her daughter to keep posting content even when she was struggling. One message stood out: "Pain is branding. Not healing, branding." Then came the turning point. Investigators looked through Brooke's financial documents and online history. They found she had received a safety recall notice for Kayla's SUV weeks before the crash, a serious brake issue. She signed the notice but never pulled the car off the road. Why? She reportedly told someone, "Optics matter." Kayla had raised concerns, but friends said she was too scared to speak up. She feared her mother would cut her off. Brooke ran everything. Now the crash didn't just seem like a tragic accident. It looked like something that had been ignored, or worse, managed for image. Police found a folder on Brooke's computer called Crisis Plan 1. Inside were pre-written Instagram captions, email templates, even a draft titled "Redemption Arc if Kayla passes." It was clear Brooke had planned for this. Then, in court, everything exploded. Prosecutors played an audio recording. The room went quiet. You could hear Brooke's voice, calm, emotionless. She said, "Being my daughter isn't a birthright. It's a role." No one in the courtroom moved. That recording came from a flash drive. It had been handed over by Mia, the same assistant who once cleaned up Brooke's digital world. But this time, she walked straight to the prosecutors and said, "I'm done." That flash drive was a bombshell. It held over 40 audio clips, hundreds of emails, and documents with titles like Kayla Optics Prep. In one video, Brooke was practicing fake crying while playing sad music. Another file listed possible taglines for a future product line: "She's watching over me," and "Turn pain into purpose." Even worse, there was a marketing plan called the Grief Monetization Funnel. Emails with her PR agency showed pricing for sympathy interviews $150,000 each. One email outlined a fake religious retreat, actually planned as a brand launch. There was talk of a podcast, a memoir, even a candle line. The courtroom watched as more evidence rolled in. Brooke's confident face began to crack. Outside the courthouse, crowds gathered. Protest signs filled the streets. One read, "Kayla wasn't remembered, she was sold." Then came the video that broke everyone's heart. It was found on a small memory card. The date was 1 week before the crash. It showed Kayla, alone, crying. No makeup, no filter. "I'm scared," she whispered. "She's using me for things I don't believe in. I feel like I'm someone else's mascot." Her last words hit hard, "If anything happens to me, don't let her sell it." The judge paused. The court reporter stopped typing. Everyone just sat in silence. Brands reacted fast. Savage X Fenty and Fashion Nova dropped Brooke. Her grief platform disappeared. The domain was seized by the government. Even from jail, Brooke tried launching a podcast called Life After Legacy. A court order shut it down immediately. But the attempt shocked everyone. Meanwhile, Kayla's voice spread. Her words were printed on protest signs, turned into murals, and used in rallies. She wasn't just a victim anymore, she became a voice for a movement. A reminder of how far influencer culture can go when emotions become currency. The final moment came when the judge handed down the sentence, life in prison, no parole. All of Brooke's companies were shut down. She was banned from ever profiting from her name or image again. Brooke didn't cry. She didn't speak. She stood frozen, then collapsed to the floor, still in designer heels. Even then, some said it looked like she was still trying to pose, still trying to stay in character. Outside, the world was watching. Protesters chanted. Reporters cried. Hashtags trended again. But the story wasn't over. The next morning, a new file appeared online. It was called the Bailey Ledger, Part 2. Inside were screenshots of influencers paid to post fake tributes, receipts, Venmo logs, and emails suggesting pre-written captions like, "I didn't know Kayla, but her light touched millions." All paid for by Brooke's team. There was even a draft pitch for a Netflix series, a skincare line called Legacy Glow, and scented candles shaped like angel wings. Networks paused filming on family-focused reality shows. Sponsors pulled out. Lawmakers introduced the Kayla Bailey Act to protect children from being exploited in influencer branding. And Brooke? She became the warning sign, a symbol of everything wrong with selling sorrow. Kayla's last message, "Don't let her sell it," became a national slogan. Brooke is now behind bars, without followers, fame, or fortune. Just silence. The same silence she once used to control others is now the only thing left around her. Justice wasn't just served, it was seen, shared, and remembered. And now, the world knows, you can't build a brand on someone else's pain. Not anymore. And that brings us to the end of one of the most shocking and heartbreaking stories the internet has ever witnessed. A story that started with what seemed like a tragic accident but quickly unraveled into something much darker, a web of manipulation, branding, and betrayal wrapped in hashtags and heartbreak. Brooke Bailey wasn't just a mom in mourning. She was a master of the spotlight, someone who used grief not as a moment of reflection but as a tool. While the world sent condolences, she was drafting emails, planning interviews, and rehearsing tears. While her daughter was being buried, she was pitching memoir titles. And while the world assumed a mother was hurting, Brooke was strategizing her next post. But here's what the internet did right this time: it didn't stay silent. People asked questions. They looked closer. They refused to accept the surface story. Kayla's friends spoke up. An assistant stepped forward. Investigators followed the digital trail, and the truth caught up with the lies. Brooke wasn't just exposed, she was held accountable. The courtroom wasn't just a stage, it was where the mask came off for good. No brand, no platform, no polished caption could save her when the receipts came out. Life in prison. No parole. No second chance to rebrand the story. Her empire built on filters, followers, and faked pain collapsed under the weight of the truth. But this video isn't just about Brooke Bailey. It's about Kayla, a young woman who tried to speak up, who said she felt like a mascot in her own life, who left behind quiet warnings texts, voice notes, draft blogs because deep down, she knew something was wrong. She wasn't weak. She wasn't just a daughter of a celeb. She was strong enough to leave breadcrumbs, hoping someone would follow them. And eventually, someone did. That final video of Kayla raw, scared, honest was more than evidence. It was a cry for help that finally echoed loud enough to wake the world up. And it worked. Not just in the courtroom, but in the culture. We saw brands pull back. TV networks hit pause. Parents of influencer kids started rethinking what they share. A congressional bill was even introduced, the Kayla Bailey Act, to protect minors from being exploited for profit online. Real change is starting to happen. And the most powerful part? Kayla's voice didn't fade away. It got louder. Her words "don't let her sell it" turned into a rallying cry. You've probably seen it already, on murals, protest signs, across social media. It became more than just a warning. It became a promise. A line in the sand saying, "This is where we stop turning pain into profit." If you've made it this far in the video, thank you. Because this isn't easy content. It's heavy. It's emotional. But it's necessary. The next time you see someone posting about loss, pause. Think. Ask, is this real? Is this person okay? Or is this another moment turned into marketing? Because grief is not a brand. Trauma is not a trend. And no amount of likes, views, or viral clips should ever come at the cost of someone's dignity or life. So, what can you do? Stay informed. Support creators who speak truth, not just trends. Use your platform, whether it's big or small, to lift up stories that matter. And most of all, protect your peace. Don't let the algorithm trick you into thinking every tear is content. Some things are meant to be felt, not filmed. Kayla Bailey didn't get justice while she was alive, but her story changed the rules. And that means something. It means maybe, just maybe, the next young woman feeling trapped behind a camera, pushed into a brand she never chose, might be heard before it's too late. If this story moved you, do more than hit like. Share it. Talk about it. Make sure her voice keeps echoing long after this video ends. Because no empire built on silence should ever stand. And from now on, we remember the name Kayla Bailey not as a brand, but as a person. As a voice that finally broke through the noise. Thank you for watching. Stay safe. Stay smart. And remember, not every post tells the full story. But if you listen closely, sometimes the truth speaks louder than all the clicks in the world.